Hi, I'm Susan Hersh from Meet the Experts. Life used to be so simple. Cash was king. If you had it, you bought it, and if you didn't have the cash, you didn't buy it. Today we live in such a plastic society. We can virtually buy whatever we want without any cash. Credit cards are definitely contributing to chronic compulsive buying disorder. In 2008, a survey reported that 28 million Americans are over-shopping, and it is due to credit cards, but there are so many more reasons why. Dr. April Benson, author of To Buy or Not to Buy, is with me today, and she's going to discuss shopping addictions and the fact that there is a cure. Hi, Dr. Benson.
Hi, Susan.
Thank you so much for having me here. So in your book, To Buy or Not to Buy, you discuss underlying authentic needs. It's an interesting term, and these needs is what's leading men and women to compulsive buying disorders. Can you clarify what these needs are?
Well, we all have authentic needs. We have the need for love and affection. We have the need to belong. We have the need for self-esteem, the need for the esteem of other people, and we have the need for autonomy and to self-actualize. And what happens in compulsive buying disorder is that the shopping is used to meet these needs in a misguided way.
The over-shopping pattern creates so many aftershocks. It can be detrimental to someone's health. It can affect relationships with family, friends, or even people's partners. So let's talk about some of the aftershocks.
The most common aftershock, the one we all think of, is the financial. Somebody who's up to their eyeballs in debt, who doesn't have savings, who doesn't have a retirement account. But there are many, many others. As you mentioned, there are real significant consequences to relationships. Many, many marriages break up over issues related to money. Over-shopping being one of the big ones.
Or maybe they didn't even know that their partner had an over-shopping problem, and then they find out when they want to refinance their mortgage and they discover that one of the partners doesn't have credit.
Yes, in fact, that exact scenario happened to somebody that I was working with.
So let's get into the credit card industry because it is extremely profitable. In 2005, it brought in $30 billion in profit. It's the most profitable sector in the banking industry, clearly contributing to over-shopping and addiction and things of that nature. So let's talk about why. I mean, I think a lot of people know it's easy to get a credit card these days.
Although not as easy as it was 2 years ago. And credit limits are lower than they were, and some of the unfair and deceptive practices have happily been relegated to the junk heap. So, nevertheless, there are still billions of credit cards out, and people use them and don't realize the high cost of credit card debt. They don't know what happens when they make minimum payments as opposed to fixed payments. The differences are staggering.
Well, the interest rates are staggering because the department stores have 25%, sometimes more, 35%. Let's move into Eileen because you do in your book talk about a lot of different patients, but her story really fascinated me because she is a baby boomer. She's ready for retirement, but the fact is she owes $75,000 in credit card debt. And when I read her journal, because you're a big proponent on having a journal, that's a whole nother topic of conversation, but just speaking about her journal with what she cited, all of these reasons why she was perpetually buying, we should get into that because she didn't even, I don't know if she realized it or she didn't realize it or her husband didn't realize it or she was in denial.
Well, I think that she is very impulsive, and when she has something that she wants to buy, it's very hard for her to think it through. I think for her, the buying is masking and anesthetizing her against many things. She never had a child, and it's something that I think she feels very upset about. I think there's some real problems in the relationship.
The 4 Rs that you mentioned, I know it's a big part of your practice, and that with most of your patients, you preach the 4 Rs. I just want to go over that because it's so important. Recognizing, resisting, relaxing, resolving. I'll let you explain this.
The 4 Rs relate to getting unhooked from a shopping impulse, and they represent ways to do it. The first R is recognizing that you have this impulse. What is going on in your body that's telling you that you have this impulse to shop? What thoughts, memories, feelings are associated with this impulse? And what do you think is triggering you? So that's all part of the recognition process. The second one is to resist scratching that itch, to allow yourself to recognize the impulse and resist going out and shopping. The third one, and knowing that, as with all impulses, if we ride them out long enough, they will either disappear entirely or become mere background noise.
This is the gold system that you came up with, and the numbering system, which is fantastic, but you came up with other things that are pretty easy, like if you receive catalogs, don't look at them, throw them away, or call up the 1-800 number of the catalog and tell them, take me off of your mailing list.
Yes.
The funniest thing is the TiVo that you mentioned. I don't personally have TiVo, but you were like, then you won't see the commercials if you TiVo all of your favorite shows. And that takes discipline to do something like that. Don't drive past your favorite store when it's the way you go every day to the office, or the way you go every day to the food store.
Or if you have something that you must do in a particular store, and you know if you enter this particular door, you're going by the jewelry counter, and that's one of your triggers, enter through a different door. It can be very serious. I personally know of 2 men in their 60s who committed suicide because things had gotten so bad in terms of the face that they showed to the world and what was true about their financial situation. So it can get really, really serious. And what you said before, it's called the smiled upon addiction because consumption fuels our economy. So for some people, it's a source of even more guilt and shame than having alcoholism or a drug addiction.
Your book is amazing, to buy or not to buy. It is so detailed, and for somebody that really wants to stop, it is an amazing book. I actually did some of the surveys and looked at it and thought about a lot of those questions, and I thank you so much for being with me today.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Until the next time, I'm Susan Hersh from Meet the Experts.